for the swap meet and wants you to know that he's still working for the organization. And he also wanted you to know that he's still working on his, it's my word, not his crazy AM radio station. So if you have a need for AM radio station parts that he has a surplus of, give him a call. And that's our message from Robbie.
All right. Any other?
Right here.
Oh.
I managed with some difficulty to break my pointing finger. To make it a little bit more justified, I was trying to seat a lockable tube. You can do that if you're going this way or that way, but you can't do it going sideways. It breaks.
Okay, any other health and welfare? Okay, next up we have old business. Anyone have any old business they want to update? I just have one issue on repair fairs. We're looking for radio technicians that will show up and help people out by looking at their old tube radios. We have a repair fair coming up in 2020, and we're looking for some repair technicians. If you're interested, please contact us after the meeting. Any other old business? Okay, let's go to new business. Does anyone have any new business other than the election of officers? We'll take care of that after all new business. None? Okay. Then next up is the election of officers. So, an email was sent out. Did you happen to fill out your ballots?
No.
It was sent in the email. Okay. What I'm thinking we can do, if no one has any ballots, what we can do then is pass these out one per row. You can vote. Basically, it is, you can choose the incumbent for each of the offices, or a write-in candidate, because everyone is running unopposed. But we have to do this. This is in our bylaws. We have to do, just pass it down, one per row.
Can I just make a motion that we accept the slate for next year, let's continue on, rather than go through all this?
Well, let me check.
The bylaws say that it will be a written ballot.
Oh my.
Ah, yes, okay. Thank you, Dave.
If you don't
I'll fill them all out.
If you don't have a pen, just prick your finger and sign it and pull it.
Okay, this goes down that side, this goes down the other side. You were looking for a pen.
There's some over by the table, over by the
Over there by the
And then
door prize table.
door prize thing.
this goes down this way. By the door prizes, you're saying that they're... Okay.
I'll get everybody.
Did anyone not get a 2020 survey
Nope.
to fill out? As people are voting, we'll
Oh,
wait
I guess
till
I
this
have
is
some.
done.
Guess I have some.
Oh,
Thanks,
pen-
Franklin.
pen down here. I need a pen on this. Christian will try to get you a pen for that row. Oh, okay, sounds good, sounds good. So, while everyone is voting, did anyone not get a 2020 membership survey? That also was sent out in the mail. Does anyone need one?
Have no idea who besides to it else.
Could you pass that down to Esteban?
I don't think there's any write-in campaign.
So that it's not completely anonymous, let me read who the incumbent is. Our president is Pat Kaji. Our vice president is Franklin Ochiko. Our secretary is Lyles Garcia. And our treasurer is Ed Tompkins. Mike McCrow is member at large. So that's who you'd be voting for if you voted for the incumbent.
You can't pass down. Oh, so we're gonna- So, did you get the vote? Okay.
You just put it up. Would you mind go ahead and put a comment somewhere down for me?
I'm voting as your proxy.
Okay, as my proxy.
Maybe the second Saturday.
Well, I don't think that has been implemented yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there were, Harley was he was the first.
Okay, I'm voting for your proxy, is that true?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
I got that on the CD. I didn't play it this year, though.
Oh, the Roosevelt Station, December 8th.
Yeah, it
And your pen.
Song, Remember Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Let's say
No, I'm talking about Pearl Harbor.
oh, yeah, 78.
Yeah.
Because there aren't too many of the guys left.
Is everyone voting?
They're not, losing the World War II veterans real fast. They're all getting pretty old. They're all getting in their 90s. There's ones that do that.
That was a rather sad story on TV about some Pearl Harbor guy just died last week. And they're gonna put him in I heard that on
All right.
the news.
Would you like to do official tallying and do that? And then we'll have one other board member validate. Actually, we probably should have it
I've
on.
been asked to tell you the answers
Mike.
from the trivia book. I don't know whether I want to divulge such good information, but after
If
the
Mike's over there, I
business
guess we
meeting,
can
we'll
do it.
discuss trivia. Or maybe that's during the business meeting.
Mike, can you help me with the tallying for this? We need two board members to figure this out.
Yeah, let me give this to Janet.
Sure.
We're just waiting for the validation.
Is that
So is anybody putting a comment in?
then you don't have.
That's all we're in.
I mean, you need write-ins.
I don't see any write-ins.
Okay, let's just flip there.
It looks like,
Do you need a number or what do you
No,
need?
you have to just
Say that.
who the winners are.
okay, that's 3, 6. Oh, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I guess. 6, 8, that's 14, that's 12. 19, that's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, so 28. 93, 31, So I got 36 incumbents and no write-ins on each one.
You also validate that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we two of us are validated.
Yep.
Me? Okay, I don't care.
It's kind of looks fishy.
The results of the election are 36 for each candidate incumbent and no write-ins.
Thank you so much.
And that means that you were honest, because I bet there's 36 members here. Any number of people could have put an answer down. You know?
So if there is no other new business, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting and let the Christmas party begin.
Well, let the Christmas party continue.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's, the two things that we have left to do is give away a lot of things, and nobody likes to miss that. But I will tell you that if you have to leave and you have a gift on the gift exchange table, there on your red ticket, there's a place to write down your name. And if you have to leave, drop it with your name here at the booth, and we will make sure that when your prize comes up, that we get it to you. Guaranteed before the picnic in July. But everybody will get their gift.
One of these, it seems to be extra.
And so, we move on from
I
there
had more than
to some of the trivia in the trivia book. Does anybody have a particularly tough one that they haven't been able to get? All of them? Yes, well, some wives are like that, I understand that. But let's run down the radio manufacturers. What was Atwater Kent's first name? Arthur indeed. Who made the radio called the Pup? Rosley. What radio by name did Grisby Grenauer make? The Majestic, yes. Big Majestics.
heavy.
And who started, yes, very heavy. Who started out as the Helios Electric Company? Well, it might help you to know that Helios Electric Company changed their name to Philadelphia Storage Battery Company in its second year of operation. Yes, it indeed became Philco. And what radios were built by Frank Angelo D'Andrea?
Beta.
Beta. Yes, indeed. What small contribution to radio history was made by the Steinite Company?
What company?
The Steinite. The crystal set, sure. Everybody wants a Steinite crystal set. That's they made big radios too. They weren't as popular.
Barcelona.
Were the Gilfillan brothers better known for aviation or radio?
Aviation.
It was indeed. The Gilfillan brothers got the contract from the government to develop the first ground control radar for landing aircraft. And during World War II, it made the ability to land an aircraft every minute. That was never happened before. They wanted to make sure the burning wreckage was out of the way before the next one came down. But indeed, Gilfillan got the contract and became very popular in radar manufacturing. Who was the man who named Motorola? Galvin, yes, and Galvin has nothing to do with galvanization. I looked it up. He didn't record that one. What major radio manufacturer was known for his chrome chassis? Scott's the only one I can come up with, but somebody said there's some other ones. McMurdo. Oh, McMurdo. I could believe that. Never could afford one, but I could believe it. What two units were combined to make the Westinghouse RC radio? The RA and the DA. And little bars across the back connected the two. Did the Wurlitzer Company ever make radios? Yes.
Lyric and All-American Mohawk.
Exactly. We should have Sonny give the answers. The Lyric radios were the upper class, very expensive radios. And the All-American Mohawk, well, they made the All-American 5. They made a lot of radios. And they were owned by the Wurlitzer Company. And whatever happened to freshman radio? Yes, they graduated. No, wrong answer. Wrong. The freshman company was bought out and eventually became the Earl Radio Company. So if you have an Earl radio, it was probably on a Freshman chassis. I particularly have a Freshman masterpiece, which I am assured is nothing of a masterpiece, but that's okay. Who founded the Hallicrafter Company? Well, let me tell you that it was a combination of two things.
Bill Halligan.
Yes, Bill Halligan was the first name, and they were handcrafted radios, so that's where the crafter came from. They were Hallicrafters. And we had a Hallicraftorium here, a member that had a museum of nothing but Hallicrafters for many years. He lived out on the Coast Range. I can't quite put a finger on it. But if you went out there, you could see almost every Hallicrafter that was made. I think he and the Hallicrafters have since passed away. What year did the Grebe Synchrophase debut? 25? I was going to say 26, but I believe 25. It was the one with the beaded chain as a tuner, which never stretched, except for when it did. And who made the chassis for the Mission Bell radio? Gilfillan indeed. Gilfillan made the chassis for a lot of different radios. They were so big in LA that you didn't have to look very far. There was a mark on the chassis of every Gilfillan made, and if you turned over your Mission Bell or whatever and saw that mark, you'd know who made the chassis. Well, before we go further with that, we're going to do some gift exchange. If you have a red ticket, we're going to give away the first 3 gifts here. Then we'll do some more trivia, then we'll do some more gifts, then we'll bore you to death. No, okay, we're going to take a gift by random. This one with Santa skiing. I don't think Santa skis. He's here without casts. This one, right here. If it happens to be that you recognize that I'm trying to give you your own gift, let me know. We'll pick a different one for you, okay?
They like what I bought.
Yeah, really.
Okay, Santa's, I'm gonna need some runners. Who's gonna help me running? Oh, sure, Dave. Dave's Mr. Helper here. Who has red ticket number 118? 118. Oh, the old guy with the gray hair. Oh. That speaks for about 6 of us in the room, I'm afraid. Some people turn gray, some people turn loose. Code 3 run. Don't have an accident. This one with a very plaid wrapping. Yes, indeed. Is going to go to whoever holds the red ticket. Oh my goodness. 119. Well, you think the deck is stacked? This next one is Ho Ho Ho. I don't know if that's a reference to character or what, but and it's discreetly wrapped with invisible tape. Yes, it's invisible if you're colorblind. Number 122. 122. Ho 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 ho. Oh, come on. No, I don't think the young people didn't have any gift exchange. 122, red ticket, 122. I don't have anybody giving me any had to leave early tickets yet. Look hard, look carefully. That's up. This doesn't happen very often. Okay, set it over here. Put 122 on top of it. Now, some wives, some husbands and wives had 2 different gifts and got 2 different tickets. Make sure that 122 isn't among that. Let's do this little one. This little one with Frosty the Snowman with a carrot nose on it. Don't shake it too loud or it'll break. 107. 107 right here, Mr. Holland. Whoa. Dave's light on his feet. Yes, indeed. How about superheroes here? Superman, all the superheroes. Yeah, not to mention Wonder Woman, which is kind of popular too. The green one goes to whoever who's holding the red ticket 113. 113. Going once. Oh, over here. Whoa. This one's a heavy one. I'll let Dave, younger than me, have his hernia first. That's okay. Oh, Van White. That goes to whoever's holding the red ticket 105.
Oh, that'd be me.
Oh my goodness. You get the tonnage. Okay, one more, and then we're going to talk trivia a little bit. This is another frosty one. Warmer than most. Oh, it's okay. Sure. Yeah. The frosty goes to whoever's holding the red ticket 120. 120. 1, 2. Oh, over there in the corner. Okay. Now let's confuse the issue with some trivia. Did you all try the tube trivia? That's Dave's accomplishment. And, yeah, any other wrong answers? That's Dave's accomplishment. But the answers are on page 7, so you can go down and look them up yourself. And
politically correct anymore.
we're going to go back to radio broadcasts. What played on the radios that we collected? Who started the show with don't touch that dial?
Oh, that's nice.
It was Blondie. And Blondie and Dagwood. Yeah. What year did the Cinnamon Bear start its long life in Portland?
Mine and Frank.
Which?
37?
36. 36. Very close. Very close.
Can I say something about the Cinnamon Bear?
Sure. Here's a memory from Santa.
Well, I was at a garage sale probably 10 years ago. I listened to the Cinnamon Bear when I was a little kid on a little cathedral radio back in the late 40s. And I was at a garage sale, and here were all the tapes that belonged to a radio station. So I bought them, and I took them to my son. He put them all on disc so that we got about 5 or 6 discs. Every Christmas I play them because it's a memory from when I was a kid. And something I didn't know, I'm a ham radio operator, so I was Linda, I call her my extra wife. If you're a ham, you know what that means. Anyway, I was listening to the Cinnamon Bear last year, and I hadn't noticed it before, but at the end of the show, where they get Jimmy and Judy are going to go in this parade of the elves or whatever, and Jimmy said, well, how are you going to get a hold of the elves? He says, oh, my ham radio. And so he called his elves, so I did not know that. Unfortunately, I don't think he used a call sign, but he did use a ham radio to call his elves, so I got to let my club know about that too. Thank you.
Yeah, the Cinnamon Bear has a lot of what we call cultural reference, because several of the things it mentions we don't understand 80 years later. But ham is still around. Santa evidently had a ham radio on his sled too, if you listen to any of the Santa stories. Didn't want to be left out. Okay, here's one. What show included the introduction, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak? The Shadow? No. The Whistler. The Whistler, yes. He goes where people don't go. Who lived in the small house halfway up the next block? It was Vic and Sade. Vic and Sade always, let's see what's happening in the small house halfway up the next block. We don't know what block or what town, but it was halfway there. Who hunts the biggest of all game? Public enemies that even the G-men cannot reach. That would be the Green Hornet. Yes. Or Mighty Mike, I'm not sure. And, of course, what was the name of Jack Benny's polar bear? Well, you see, Jack Benny was so cheap that he put a vault in the basement of his house, and he guarded it with a moat with alligators in it. And it had a guard. The guard often quipped about the fact that he hadn't seen the light of day for the last 22 years. And when somebody gave him a polar bear, he thought, well, there's nothing better than putting a polar bear in the basement. I'm going to leave that open. Think on that for a little bit. Who married Phil Harris? Alice Faye. On the show, what was the relationship between Mert and Marge? It was a soap opera, one of the great tearjerkers of all times. Mert and Marge were allegedly mother and daughter, but not allegedly. They were in real life mother and stepdaughter. Mom wrote the show, got a job for her, a little bit of nepotism going there, got a job for her stepdaughter, and it went on for years. How many years did Virginia Payne play Ma Perkins? A lot. Yes, that would be technically correct. A lot. 27 years, over 7,000 broadcasts, and according to the history books, Virginia Payne didn't miss one. Now, when you consider 7,000 times before the microphone, that's a pretty good record. What were the real names of Fibber, McGee, and Molly? Well, they were James and Marion Jordan. And when they first left vaudeville to go to radio, they started a situation comedy called Smackouts. And Fibber was a storekeeper who was always smack out of everything. But he'd make up some long story to explain why his stock was incomplete. And as his stories got longer and longer, that's how he got the name Fibber McGee. What radio names did Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll use before Amos and Andy? They were on Chicago radio, WGN, in 1926 under the names of Sam and Henry. And Sam and Henry was so popular that they wanted to cut records and distribute them to other radio stations. And the radio station said, no, we own Sam and Henry. You can't do that. So they quit. About a month later, they came back as Amos and Andy. Now, that's when you can throw out at the dining room table and get a lot of discussion about. Who played the Black Maid initially on Fibber, McGee, and Molly? Very odd story. Marlon Hurt. He was a white radio entertainer who did nothing but dialects. And he did the dialect of a black female so well that he played the Black Maids on 5 different radio shows. Marlon Hurt was so busy that when he got his own show, the Marlon Hurt and Beulah Show, he only lasted about 2 months. Halfway between the 2 studios where he was doing shows, he died of a heart attack. That left a whole lot of households without a black maid. So if you're familiar with Lillian Randolph was the black maid on Gildersleeve later. She picked up a lot of those parts. Marlon probably owed her a great deal. From whose book was the character the Saint taken? Leslie Charteris, you're right. In fact, they say that right in the introduction of every show. When was Ed Murrow first assigned to the European Bureau? He was the talk editor. 1937. He started reporting the war before we knew there was, well, not we knew there was. That's Ed Murrow. The other trivia about Ed Murrow is that his first name was Egbert. Egbert Roscoe Murrow. He was born in North Carolina, and that wasn't necessarily an unusual name there. But when he got on the radio, everybody said, you should really just use Ed, what do you think? What show used the phrase, the weed of crime bears bitter fruit? The Shadow. Yes, indeed. It wasn't in the intro, though. Most people say, isn't that the introduction to The Shadow? No, that was the tail. That was after the axe had fallen and the bad guy had got his own. Then the announcer would come on, the weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows. Can you name 3 of Edgar Bergen's dummies? I mean, the dumb ones. Mortimer? Yep. And of course, who was the primary one? Charlie. Mortimer Snerd. A third one? One of his females, Effie Clinker. Effie Clinker was a great dummy. Who took over the original amateur hour for Edward Bowes when he died? No, his PR man, a guy named Ted Mack. And so Ted Mack took it from radio to television. The original amateur hour with Ted Mack. What was the standard performer's fee when they performed on Command Performance? No, it was zero. Everybody donated their time to Command Performance because those were the shows that were sent overseas. Who was Betty Joan Persky, and who did she marry? Well, I'll give you this. She married Humphrey Bogart. So her stage name was Lauren Bacall. She was a sultry one, but Betty Joan probably, Lauren is better. Yeah. And according to the songwriters, what was the going wage for a soldier in World War II? $21 a day, once a week. that was a song. And it was indeed someplace in the early 20s, 21, 22, 23 is all they got for a week's work. And in the end, the last one in this category was who were Chester Locke and Norris Goff.
Lum and Abner,
Oh,
Lee Arkansas.
yes. Lum and Abner down in Pine Ridge, Arkansas. Pine Ridge, Arkansas was a fictitious town.
No,
But all of the people that Lum and Abner played on were in Waters, Arkansas. And Waters, Arkansas, when people came down, they're looking, where's Pine Ridge? Where's Pine Ridge? Pine Ridge didn't exist. So the town fathers of Waters, Arkansas said, we're missing a bet here. And they renamed their town Pine Ridge, Arkansas. In fact, the town fathers got together and built the Lum and Abner Jot 'em Down store, just so all these tourists would have some place to go. Well, we've got some more gifts to give away, and that's obviously what you want instead of listening to me. Yeah, that's politics for you. If everybody says you're right, then be right, whether you're right or not. Okay, Dave, if you would step up here. I'm going to give away this wonderful black plastic garbage bag. It's artistically done with a furl on the top and a beautiful red bow. And it smells okay, so it must be okay. One of the great, you remember the Bickersons? The Bickersons are Frances Langford and Don Amici. He argues with her sometimes that she packs the lousy